Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Punk Rock Libertarians Podcast, episode 401. Tonight, I'm here with Alex Schlegel.
Good to see you, everybody.
Special guest Dr. E.
Hey, thank you for having me back once again.
Hell yeah. And the senior government analyst, James Babb.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
Not much, man. Just kind of recovering from the weekend.
Yeah,
Still recovering from
into?
Reno.
Oh, just clown world. It's collapsing clown world out there. It's rough.
Yeah, that too. I may or may not have had the vid from Reno, but I don't know. Could just be allergies.
That's new Mises strain that's going around.
The Reno strain. But no, all in all, good weekend. Relaxing. So yeah, ready to get into it. How about you guys?
Yeah, I didn't really do shit all weekend. My car's been I have an exhaust leak on my car, and I haven't been able to get it into the shop yet, so I'm kind of like homebound until I get that taken care of.
But your commutes are really relaxing now. Really.
Exactly.
You feel a little sleepy when you
out.
get home, but it's a really mellow ride.
Yeah. So yeah, not too eventful. How about you guys?
Does it make a special sound now, like with the exhaust?
Yeah, it just sounds like I don't have a muffler because I don't
just that's
really have a muffler.
Just call it performance exhaust. This is my performance exhaust sound. You know.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, my car's got like 110,000 miles on it now. But it's otherwise in great shape. I guess something.
Was your catalytic converter stolen?
No, that's what I thought at first.
I mean,
because that's like a thing now in Baltimore. So
of course it is.
So like I was playing baseball in the park, and I like left the park, and I'm driving, and then all of a sudden I hear like kind of a loud sound, and then all of a sudden like my engine is just real loud, like I'm driving like a rice burner, you know, like one of these fucking like souped up pieces of shit Hondas. And I'm like, what
performance
the fuck?
Exhaust.
Yeah. Exactly. So then I like pull over at a gas station. I'm just like looking. I'm like, I mean, my muffler is still on here. Like, there's nothing dragging. I get home, and then I look a little bit closer, and it's just like the catalytic converter, which is fortunately still there, like came detached from the muffler. So it's just like spilling out of the catalytic converter, I guess. So
probably
it's
good
drivable.
It's just that catalytic converter out of there. Just
what's that?
You know, just go to straight pipes, get the catalytic converter out of there, steal it yourself. You know.
Yeah. Just do their job for them, right?
Why not?
Sell the copper or the copper. Was it copper or gold in there?
Or like palladium,
palladium,
I believe.
Platinum.
Oh.
Depends. Either copper. I know they switched. That's why
you guys act like you've never fenced stolen catalytic converters before.
I mean, I've thought about it, but you know, times I haven't gotten that tough yet.
Right.
We're only at the beginning of the collapse.
Give it a couple more weeks of Build Back Better, and Jared and I are going to be hitting the streets of Baltimore.
Yeah, we're going to be rolling around in Alex's pickup truck.
Yeah, throwing him
throw
in the
a
back.
jack in the back and just
taking him to Crazy Rays. Take your car to Crazy Rays, hon. Junk car, bring it down here.
Oh man. How about you, Eric? What'd you get into, man?
I went to Brewfest at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair, which was featured Pennsylvania breweries and food, and overall was okay. But check out Rough Edges Brewing Company. I was new to them, and they had the best beer. Each place had like 2 or 3 beers, so I happened to like.
Where is that?
Best. I think it's Waynesboro. They said it was south of Chambersburg. So it's probably pretty close to Maryland. So you guys can probably get it. Yeah, dude, they had this watermelon sour that was just like so flavorful. And then they had a white stout that was also banging.
Hell yeah.
White stout.
Shout out
I've
Rough
heard
Edges.
of white stouts before, but what exactly is that? What does that taste like?
I don't know.
Is it like
it was
vanilla?
Taste like a stout?
It did, but it wasn't dark. It was more like the color of like an IPA, kind of like amber color.
So it doesn't have like those like
Interesting.
roasted malts, or I guess, or I don't know anything about beer.
And it was probably a little bubblier, but like it ruled. Plus, like their vendor was like cool. That helps. So overall, it gave them 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll check it out. It's looks like it's right over the border, Waynesboro, PA.
Right over the border.
From
yeah, it's
like
not far from like
Hagerstown,
Hagerstown. Yeah.
out there, out west. Yeah, let's check that out. We'll send them in a bill in the mail for giving them a shout out.
New sponsor.
Yeah,
Promo code PRL.
Yeah,
10% off your first growler.
Your first, yeah. Nice.
Have you guys all been? I'm sure you've been glued to your TV watching the coverage of the insurrection hearings, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they are so fucking desperate. Who's the chairman who's from Mississippi who was trying to compare January 6th to growing up in Mississippi and lynching? And I was like, oh my God. I'm sitting there. I watched it. I didn't watch it the night it aired, but just for shits and giggles it was like Saturday or Sunday. Tara and it came up on streaming, and I was like, I'm just going to try to watch this. In the first 20 minutes or first 10 minutes, I'm like, I cannot with this. But the chairman was trying to compare, to it's just, they're trying to make this connection to domestic terrorism, white supremacists. They're definitely trying to make this hearing to hype that up and hype that narrative up in the next coming months leading up to the election, the 2022 midterms.
Did you know they hired a special producer to sort of put together the TV package for this?
Yeah, some like former ABC document. Like he did a couple. I forget what documentaries they said he did, and actually, yeah, he was apparently a producer on ABC. And he's
James Goldston, former president of ABC News. He's been hired to produce the hearings as if they were a docudrama or must-watch miniseries. The plan is to present the case in 6 tight thematic episodes that will unfold in prime time and during the day, running 90 to 150 minutes as the marathon Watergate hearings, some of which stretch for hours but tailored for the streaming era, and a media world fueled by viral moments. So they're ready for this. They're like, look, we're gonna package this, we're gonna sell this.
Oh my God.
God, I'm reading this from a New York Times article.
Who's gonna play who's gonna play the horn guy in like the documentary or the what do they call it, the docudrama? The guy who's gonna play like the Q shaman. Who's gonna be the actor who plays him?
Good question.
Jim Carrey, maybe. He's kind of insane.
No, maybe a black guy. No, they can't cast a black actor for that one.
No, that guy's bad.
Right. So some guy that's even whiter.
Yeah, apparently this former ABC executive was one of the ones he suppressed the Epstein story when it started coming out. Apparently,
well, the one right. Well, think about everybody that got on board with that. They're like, come on, guys. Yeah, Epstein Island. What an island where elites go to rape children and get sexual blackmailed by Mossad. That's just a conspiracy theory.
Right.
But I think it was somebody on ABC News brought it up on one of the anchors, and then it just didn't go anywhere because they purposely suppressed it. It's like, whoa, they were talking about it for a second, then it just went away. Like, wait, what's going on here?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah, those folks on Gen 6 were fed up. I mean, I was listening to Thomas Massey, and he was and you don't hear anything of that, of Ray Epps. Remember the guy who's like, we're going to go into the Capitol like tomorrow. You remember the night before on January 5th, that video that was circulating, and he looked like a Fed. And
when was that from?
Yeah, what was that?
It was the night before January 6th. It was the night before the rally, and there was all people gathered, and he's standing up and he's saying, tomorrow we're going to go into the Capitol. And the whole crowd around him was like, fuck no. They're like chanting Fed, Fed, Fed. And then the next day, there's a whole bunch of videos of him leading people, pulling down the fences, telling people, like whispering into their ears, like kind of where it's like his name's Ray Epps, and he's yet to be. So they brought forth someone from the DOJ in front of Congress, and Thomas Massey was just like, "Do you know who the fuck this guy is? Like, any information about him? Has he been arrested?" And whoever it was from the DOJ just continued to say, "Oh, we can't comment on an ongoing investigation." And how many people they were like Antifa previously arrested, and then you see their mugshot, and then you see them on Jan 6, and that's never going to come up. So,
Oh, you're saying like Antifa people were turned
yeah,
into Jan 6 people?
right. We're like,
Well, some people just want to have a good time, you know.
right.
Some people just want to be involved in like whatever political
Well,
upheavals.
they thought they were going to storm into a Starbucks, but it turned out right. Like,
sorry, kids, the Starbucks is closed in the Capitol Rotunda. The sign out front should have told you.
Oh man,
people seem to be really polarized over this. Man, they've been pumping it so hard. Presumably, this is all the Democrats have to campaign on, right?
Yeah.
Is that the idea? Is that why they have to pump this?
well, it's that and gun control, right?
Domestic terrorism
or gun control now, right?
Yeah, monkeypox was a dud. That didn't really.
Yeah, monkeypox did not. Lead balloon right there.
Well, we still got a couple more months a week or two of Pride, so the monkeypox might, but
speaking of gun control,
if Pride Month is really good, monkeypox could take off. Is that what you're saying?
Possibly, but as of now,
you
you're
just
right.
Get enough pride to get this monkeypox thing launched.
Well, they did. I mean, they did find out that it was basically getting transmitted as an STD amongst. I think it started amongst some sort of like gay brothel in Germany. They traced it back to
Belgium. Like it was all like nightclub rager, like raves all night.
I'm sure it has nothing to do with Fauci and the Wuhan lab and gain of function, right?
Right.
Like, it's freaking it was bat soup. Yeah, it's bat soup. We're sure it's bat soup. This time, it's the gays. I mean.
Well, speaking of the whole gun control thing. There was some sort of false flag or false yelling of something amongst the crowd of the Moms Demand Action event in DC this past weekend.
Yeah, it was this weekend. David Hogg was there. I saw that on
David
Twitter.
Hogg.
Yeah.
What kind of action are they demanding now?
Damn, dude.
What is that? What's happening?
Is that Kirby right there?
Do not run! There is no issue here! Do not run!
What the hell's going on?
Yeah, so
I think apparently someone yelled that someone had a gun, right? Is that what it was, Alex?
Yeah, apparently. So this whole crowd just freaks out. You just see them running for the fence and trying to hop it, and just people getting trampled. And then you hear the individual over the PA just, "Don't run, don't panic. There's nothing going on." But yeah,
that's when you should run. Okay,
yeah.
Like seriously, when some lady's yelling at you to not run, you should probably run.
So apparently it was just.
Well, you got to imagine the fear, just the baseline level of fear of all those defenseless people huddled, right? Like each one is probably just terrified. A lot of them don't have masks on, which probably is just sending them into shivers.
Yeah, but I mean, wasn't this a gun-free zone? Like, wasn't this a gun-free zone? Like, shouldn't they have just assumed there were no guns?
Yeah, they obviously none of them had a way to protect themselves, so they all freaked out. Yeah, it's easy to freak out when everyone around you freaks out, though. It's like, wait, what? Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, if I was at a festival and people just started running, I'd probably run right behind them.
And the Capitol Police were there. I mean, they got nothing to worry about. They seem like upstanding individuals.
Yeah, if there's a crisis, look to the police. Wherever they're hiding is the safe place you need to get to.
Yeah, how about all that? That's coming out. The police in that shooting in Texas. We didn't really talk about
Uvalde?
that at all. Yeah, we didn't really talk about that at all last week. But
are they investigating that now?
I don't know, but I mean, just we didn't talk about it last week. Just how the cops wouldn't even allow parents. They wouldn't even. They were arresting parents to go in there and try to get their kids out of there, and they just stood
A lot
by
of
and
people just
watched.
found out that cops are cowards. Like it's kind of
Right.
a new thing to them.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
I mean,
The party.
you love to see it. A lot of these, the MAGAs and the Trumpers are they're being red pilled on. Yeah, the cops aren't your friends. Like they're not here to protect you. They're not here to help you. So I think people are realizing that real quick. I think someone it was he's a total Trumper. He tweeted out something in regards to Michael Malice, and he said along the lines that I'm starting to agree with Michael Malice when it comes to the police. So you see how it's red pilling a lot of people.
Well, and
really
especially
fast.
now that Democrats have gone into full blown bootlicking, pro police, like they've always been, right? But now they're just like open about it. Biden announced, like, remember it was like last month, Biden's teleprompter writer put out a release that said that people that got the COVID money at the cities are now encouraged to spend that on police. Like, you got all that COVID relief money. What are you going to do with it? Spend it on cops. So that's now they've been given the go ahead, like, to just, anything to get more cops out there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I saw some article.
This is clown world. Democrats are pro cop, and the Republicans are the ones now going, like quoting Michael Malice.
Yeah,
But even the Republicans are caving on the gun control stuff, right? There was some sort of bipartisan bill that went through. Do you have that? Do you have that link, Alex?
I don't think I put it in there. Let's see. I'll look it up though.
Yeah, but it had
George
something
Takei.
they want to. There was like 3 major points. I think one of them was like raising the gun age, or the age restriction on purchasing a gun to 21. There was another thing that was actually going to make it easier for states to implement red flag laws.
Yeah, Protecting Our Kids Act.
There's a video I want to find that was an epic like slapdown on that age 18 thing. Did you see that one where Massey, they were saying, oh, okay, you want to raise the age to 21 because their brains aren't developed. Would you join me in a bill to raise the draft age to age 21? Right? Like as the
Right.
counter. Like,
Yeah.
and then you should have seen this Democratic senator go humming.
Right.
I'm gonna look for the video while you're talking. Let me see. This is just so good.
Yeah. U.S. House of Reps votes.
Yeah, I have the House vote, but I think it went
here's
to the
what-
Senate.
Here's
I don't
one from the 8th that I'm on Gun Owners of America's Twitter, which is based. And here's something they posted. U.S. House of Reps votes 226 to 194 to criminalize disassembling, cleaning, and reassembling your gun without a firearm manufacturer's license, including 8 Republicans. What?
What the fuck? So if you disassemble your gun to clean it or to replace
Amazing.
Wow. Yeah, we're getting closer and closer to national divorce. It's coming.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the police, do you guys feel like your average like normie doesn't connect the police and the state like correctly? Like they look at it as some other entity or something, and I think we should like be informing people that like, no, that's like the government, that's like their domestic military. It's the state directly.
Yeah, I do think that's a problem. I think it's also that people think like it's just a problem with the current police. They think like, well, if we actually had like good police that weren't corrupted by XYZ capitalism, whatever, that, things would be better. Like, I don't think they see that the problem is the monopoly on violence.
They think with a little bit bigger budget and some more training, cops won't be racist and shoot your dog.
Yeah, maybe more transparency. If we get cameras on all of them, if
Yeah.
just
It's about they're about reforming it. They're not about abolishing it, unless they're like hardcore leftists. But like, yeah, not normies. Not
It's like the
normies at all.
same argument for the government. It's like, well, if we just vote a couple other different people in, like it'll blah blah blah. Of course, it's a fallacy.
Yeah. We don't have the right guy in. Yeah, exactly.
Just vote a little harder if we all really vote.
yeah, exactly.
Just gotta vote harder this time. Yeah, speaking of normies, and this is sort of kind of on topic, something I was watching this weekend. Have you guys watched the documentary Dopesick, or the docuseries Dopesick?
No.
It's pretty based for Hulu, but it gets into the Oxycontin, the trial. I guess it was the class action lawsuit of Purdue Pharma, and it gets into how they marketed the drug. Basically, the FDA lied, like, oh yeah, only 1% will be addicted to opioids, and it gets into so it's all based on the true events, because this whole, I guess it was just this past year that they were there was like $1 billion lawsuit against Purdue Pharma, but it really gets into it. And I don't know how any normie, speaking of normies, could walk away and watch this docuseries and have any faith in the FDA and pharmaceutical companies, or come away with, any, like, just, I can't see how anybody could not come away with distrusting the whole bureaucracy, the FDA, the pharmaceutical industry, because it was just disgusting. Oh, Babs, you're muted.
Uh-oh.
Babs.
There you go. If you've made it this far and you still trust Big Pharma and the FDA, you'll basically accept anything they do, right? They're like, yeah, right. they actually created it in the Wuhan lab, but it's a long story.
It's complicated.
They're still, what do you want? Anarchy? I mean, come on.
It just goes with like a lack of any thought or analysis. And like you see this all the time with like the mental gymnastics people do with like their arguments on social media. It's like you're not even here with us right now thinking about this at all. You're just kind of spouting off the same phrases that you heard. I see a lot of that these days.
Yeah, what's our programming how do we respond to this? What's the NPC response?
I support the current thing.
Yeah. What's my programming?
He crossed state lines.
He crossed state lines. Oh man. Speaking of crossing state lines, how about this truck of feds that wound up in Idaho?
Oh shit.
Man.
Let me pull this shit up.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So evidently there was a U-Haul truck that got pulled over that happened to have 19
Patriot
members
Front.
of Patriot Front.
31.
Oh, 31.
Truck full of masked Patriot Front extremists arrested near Idaho City's Pride event, police say. Group of 31 men had shields, riot gear, and smoke grenade, officials say.
They the report I heard said at least one smoke grenade. And shields. They had shields.
They had shields.
This
Oh
is the
no!
greatest threat to our democracy since since the
samurais of the 1600s.
since the MAGA Meemaw lady, right? Remember her?
Yeah, MAGA Meemaw. Yeah. Oh, I saw some tweet about her. I can't. Oh man, I wish I'd saved that. It was funny.
Well, dude, look
If
at
you look at that photo that's on the screen right now.
It's glowing so bright.
Have you ever been handcuffed? Like, do you think they would take your mask if you were handcuffed? Also, would they
Maybe
allow
they're worried
you
about
to continue
COVID,
to wear,
Babs.
would they allow you to wear a backpack full of, smoke grenades or whatever's in there? Like,
yeah. So we're, for the listeners, we're looking at a picture. It's like the top line picture of this article, and it's a bunch of these dudes. They're all dressed the same way. They've got these like blue shirts that say "Reclaim America." They're wearing like beige military pants and boots, but they're handcuffed with like zip ties, and they still have their like masks on.
They're like the all white masks.
They're all
ski masks.
They all basically like look like the same dude.
Several
And
have backpacks,
yeah, several of them have backpacks,
which they're still wearing while handcuffed.
Yeah,
Okay.
they literally have them on their bodies still. And
That's okay. That's where you should put your handcuff key, I guess, right? Like at the bottom of your backpack, because we're not going
Right.
to take your backpack off.
right, if you, just put a little blade there so you can like rub your zip tie against it and free yourself. Yeah, I mean this is clearly
and get out your lone smoke grenade and continue the attack on the Pride Parade. So they're going. So all these people, where did they come from? Did anybody know where they came from? They came in from all over the country to disrupt some kind of Idaho
they
gay
came
pride
from the
parade?
Pentagon.
They came all the way from
from DC.
from the Pentagon. Langley or
yeah, Langley.
No, probably the local field office in like Denver or whatever.
Right. Yeah, so it says they came to riot downtown, the city's police chief told a press conference on Saturday.
And how would they know that?
I don't know. This doesn't present any. It says the group's members were charged with conspiracy to riot, a misdemeanor charge, and police said they had an operations plan with them.
Oh,
I guess they had a map. They had like a map of the area.
I think it's like somebody talked to cops. That's what I think.
That's exactly what happened. Police said that they were tipped
somebody.
off
Hey,
by
what are you
a
boys doing?
concerned
Oh,
citizen.
we're going down to we're going to go disrupt the gay pride parade.
Yeah.
My
They were
brother in blue.
Yeah. They were apparently tipped off by a concerned citizen, aka their CIA handlers.
Why didn't they get a bus?
Right. Or like a U-Haul. That's I've ridden the back of a U-Haul.
Budgetary concern, like, oh, the bus is going to cost a lot, but we can get a U-Haul.
Yeah. Or why not an MRAP, you know?
I don't know. I guess maybe all that money's going to Ukraine. It's not going to, you don't
want to ride around the back of a U-Haul.
Just all drive their federally issued sedans right to the event?
Well, I guess they kind of wanted to. They wanted to fake it just enough, but not. Yeah, they're these guys. Did you show the one picture that I sent you, Jared, where the one guy's cuffed up against the car, and you look on the bullhorn that apparently he had in a backpack, and if you zoom in, there's an FBI sticker on the bullhorn. So these guys
wait, what? Which one is this?
I think I posted in the chat here, but I mean, all these dudes are fucking feds, man. There's no.
They look like the same dudes from that like that one photo from what the fuck was it? Damn. This is what happens when you don't do pre-show research. You know that like famous, like it's kind of famous where it's like all the guys have. What's that?
It's not some kind of a news show. We don't do research.
No, it was like that one photo, and it's like all of these dudes at like some like MAGA rally, but they all have like the same sunglasses, and they're wearing like the same cargo shorts, and they all have on like the same like, like J. Crew.
Oh, the Proud Boys
polo shirt. Yeah,
Proud Boys. Yeah,
it was like a Proud Boys event or some shit. Yeah, it just reminds me of that. Wow.
I mean, this all ties into how they're hyping up this January 6th. They're really trying to push gun control, push the narrative that there's white supremacist hate groups and around every corner. And
I think we can just all agree that we're just horrified by Congress being associated with violence, right? Like these violent acts and the Congress, it just doesn't go together, right? I mean, people must just be horrified.
So has anybody met a person in real life that is genuinely upset about Jan 6 and is really tuning into these hearings? Have you had any interaction with anybody in the real world that takes this shit serious?
On Facebook, I have had interactions with somebody I know to be a real person. So not exactly a real world encounter, but close, right?
I mean, I definitely know people that are like this was like a horrible thing that happened. I don't know if they're like so motivated that they're tuning in. That seems extreme.
Is the MAGA Meemaw, is that the lady from January 6th that that got that photograph?
You got
Her
really quiet
standing
again there, Dr. E.
Oh, okay.
You're also a little quiet today, Babs. You could probably use a little bit more gain. But yeah, it's the lady. She's got like
She's
the
just standing
mug,
there.
and she's got like the American flag.
She looks, she's just standing there.
Yeah,
Poor lady, dude.
I honestly don't think that was from Jan 6. I think that was just some random photo from like some old lady taking a tour. But I love it. I love that it just.
I've been sharing it as if she was like the leader of the insurrection.
I mean, she might as well have been, right?
Are all those people still
that photo
in
was like
jail?
out that day too. Like that photo of her was like that day. It was like,
Yeah, the Q shaman's still in jail, Dr.
oh,
E.
poor guy.
Yeah, they're all like in solitary confinement. They're probably being treated worse than like Gitmo prisoners and shit. Like it's insane. And apparently I was listening to his name's Jason Rink. He's a filmmaker, and he apparently was down there filming, and he has one of the lone interviews with the Q shaman the day that it happened. So I'd like to check that out. But he also just did a documentary where he was going to interview he's Fuentes. You know what I'm talking about? The dude who's banned on all the platforms.
Yeah, Nick Fuentes.
Alt-right,
He's like
yeah.
alt-right guy.
So he did a documentary about him that he basically was put on because he was there on Jan 6 at the whatever Stop the Steal rally or whatever. But he's been on a no-fly list for well over a year and had over like $250,000 seized from his bank account by the Department of Justice.
Whoa.
And so this filmmaker, Jason Rink, and I'd like to get him on the podcast sometime. He was on.
Let's get Jason on. Yeah.
Yeah, he was on Pete Keona's show. But what's disgusting is the Freedom Fest is coming up pretty soon, and he was invited to the film festival featuring Nick Fuentes' 13-minute interview, just describing like, I'm on a no-fly list because I attended a fucking rally. Like I'm, regardless of what people think about him, it's like his rights were violated. And
yeah, you're allowed to have like stupid, retarded ideas, right?
Yeah.
So doesn't mean you get banned from flying.
Yeah. So
here.
right.
Yeah, we're still here.
But get this.
I'm still
So
allowed to fly.
It was Reason Magazine, Cato, and National Review Magazine, and a couple other Beltway regime libertarian or conservative groups said, no, you can't attend the film festival, and we're not going to allow this film to be shown because of Nick Fuentes. And it's pretty fucking pathetic. Like, I've had it with Beltway regime libertarians, regardless of what you think of this individual. And it's, your usual suspects that, oh, he's an alt-right Nazi, white supremacist. And it's like, yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but that even if that is the case, right? Like, aren't we supposed to be like philosophically interested in these questions of like, even the person that you absolutely hate what they stand for, as long as they aren't being nonviolent, should they be restricted from movement? You're
right, or have
Like,
their
remember
property
when the freedom of
stolen.
the press. Remember
What's
when
that?
freedom of the press was considered a thing? Like
Right.
people were like, and it was considered like the left would champion that, right? They were really in like, press freedom. That was considered, like a left topic, right?
Right.
But here in clown world, it's flipped. Now, now press freedom. Oh, you must be some kind of alt-right, some kind of Trumper, some kind of Elon Musk, like.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Yeah, definitely
Really bizarre.
Yeah, I want to jump back really quick about that when everybody freaked out at that rally and started to run. I came across a conspiracy years ago that I don't know if there's any merit to it, but it was saying like, watch out, someday the government is going to use like the emergency notification system on everybody's phone to create some kind of crazy stampede at like a major event. Kind of like how they did, or not, like remember when Hawaii was like falsely identified as about to be nuked and like
Right.
that notification went out and everybody freaked out.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're
right.
like warning, like watch out, at the Super Bowl or at the World Series or something. Everybody's phone blows up, like it's an emergency, and then there's a huge stampede and people get hurt and stuff.
Hmm.
Just one of the minor conspiracies to be aware of, I guess. Although I don't know if that ever has
anybody that could get control of that, like any low-level
Yeah.
hacker, some insider with an agenda, some prankster. I might even be willing to do that just to see what happens.
Yeah, and I don't know of any way to like turn off like Amber Alerts or whatever, like or like the severe weather stuff. Like certain things, like they just show up on your iPhone or whatever you got.
Yeah, that shit freaks me out. When those...
Yeah, you'd probably have to install like a custom operating system.
Yeah, it's like one of those things you can't just remove in your settings. That's
Yeah, because like I've had my phone, like I leave my phone on like silent, like do not disturb, like pretty much all day, because I hate getting notifications. But like that shit will just come through and just blare regardless of my settings.
Silver alert, Babs is lost.
Babs, get back to the compound.
Silver alert.
First time I ever got an Amber Alert, it scared the shit out of me. I didn't know what it was, and I had just like finished grad school, and I was like at home hanging out, and it was like a weekend, and I was just chilling, and I got this notification on. It was like Amber Alert, response urgent in your area, and it said like the exact like location I was in, and I was like, oh shit, like what is what? I ran upstairs, like locked the doors. I was like, dude, I don't know what's going on. Then I learned what it was. It was like a missing child or whatever. I was like, oh, okay.
And by missing child, they mean it was probably like a custody, like didn't drop her off at 4 o'clock on time kind of thing. And
Right.
Yeah.
like, last scene with her father. Like,
Right.
oh.
Yeah, that's what it is usually, right? Like, and who gets like? I mean, who gets the Amber Alerts? Is it just like the white kids? Like,
I don't get any of these alerts.
Really?
Either I haven't updated my phone, or somehow I was able to turn it off or never activate it in my iPhone.
yeah.
I don't get those.
I gotta think there's like a lot of kids that go missing in this city, but like I get those alerts maybe like once
I
think
think they only send it out if it's a white kid who goes missing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this one might be good news fodder. Like, let's send this one out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, oh, an indigenous kid? Nah.
Right.
We don't want to waste the Amber Alert system.
I do occasionally see like they'll put on the highway, on like the signs that are like dangling over the freeway. They'll put like silver alert and stuff like that up there.
What's a silver alert?
That's if
missing
like
old person.
Yeah, like if like someone with
Oh.
dementia like wanders off or something. I mean,
Dude, that's like exactly
it's
in
sad,
like
but-
the field of my career, and I never heard of that until right now.
really.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know what they were.
You hear it a lot at the White House.
Yeah,
Where'd Joe go?
code silver.
Where's Meet Joe? Meet Joe.
Oh, he's out in the garden.
Oh, we're gonna need a cleanup crew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Have we got any good clips of him as lately?
Oh, I don't know. Any like CGI Joe stuff out there?
Yeah. I don't...
I asked somebody recently who mentioned she was interested in volunteering for the Democratic Party. And I was like, all right, before you do though, just tell me like who's running the teleprompter? Could you just, before you volunteer, do you even know who's running this? Like, tell me. And
Yeah.
and I just got, and it's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay. Like that's like, I think don't even most Democrats know that he's not in charge, right? Or do they think he's in charge?
They just probably just listen to too much NPR.
I don't know, man.
Well, he's
They're in that
technically is in charge. Like it's his signature that goes on crap. It's just there's people above him like dictating what to do.
All right, who's telling him what to say is the question. Who's putting the stuff on the teleprompter? Who's letting him know what the agenda is? Clearly, he's just an
Klaus
old guy. They
Schwab?
point from one thing to the next.
Yeah, who's in his earpiece directing him?
Bill Gates?
Dude, Pfizer, Raytheon.
Yeah.
Because really all depends. Depends on the occasion.
Yeah,
who his
like
handlers are.
Yeah, are we talking? Yeah, are we talking the economy? Well, it's the Fed chairman. Are we talking health policy? It's Pfizer CEO.
Yep. Ukraine, get us the Raytheon CEO. He's going to narrate this press conference.
Or at least some low-level Nazis, you know. Let's get
Yeah,
Azov
it's
battalion.
the
here. Let
Azov
them know what-
leader.
Yeah.
Do you guys
I'm like,
see
okay,
like
go ahead and volunteer. If you want to serve those guys, do it. But just tell me who they are. Right? I think
Yeah,
that's a
give me
fair
some
question.
info.
do you guys see Ukraine flags in your area?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's just so pathetic.
still, dude, they
Yeah.
lit up the whole side of like this Baltimore courthouse, Baltimore City courthouse. They lit up the whole side in blue and yellow.
Yeah.
And then
virtue
yeah, in my
signaling.
neighborhood, there's like there's a couple flags hanging around.
Well, this is really, you got to hand it to the military industrial complex. You can take something like sympathy for an invaded, war-torn country. Like, people are going to naturally have sympathy for the people of Ukraine, right? Good people are obviously going to feel some empathy and feel horrible about the damage being done, and they want, they want to help these suffering people, right? So the trick is to take this good human nature and this one of the best qualities of humanity, and turn it into weapon sales, right? So this now becomes lobbying for more Javelin missiles to be sent to Azov battalion, okay?
Right.
Which I heard a report already, some of these weapons, they're not just being used against Russia, but were also used to attack the separatists of Donbass, okay? So it's become part of the internal conflict. However, this is the mission, right? And turning this, this sentiment and empathy into prolonged war and weapon sales is that's quite a transmutation.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Go ahead, Eric.
I see it with the school shootings too. They're like, here's a horrible, horrible thing, and then here's what we're gonna do because you're upset, and how it's kind of the same. It's like, oh, we're gonna actually help these people or make you think this is a solution.
Yeah.
And it always
decided-
comes when there's tragedies. Like,
Right. It's so horrible, but we've decided you want to be more dependent on police. Yes. Yes, we do. What?
that's another example.
George Takei had some gun control comments on his thing, or whoever runs his accounts and stuff. And I just posted, I said, only internment camp guards should have guns, right? Like,
Right.
because, I mean, how could you actually have your family imprisoned in an ethnic concentration camp and then come out and say those are the only people that should have guns? That's literally what George Takei is out there saying.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think going back to what Eric said before, like, people don't connect the dots all the way, right? They don't see that, like, when you're like I think it was what's the dude's name? We used to have him on we had him on the show once. But he well, whatever. So the point was basically that gun control is about just controlling your guns, right? It's not, they're not talking about like, well, we need to decrease like the military stockpile, or have cops just work with batons. No, it's transferring of ownership of the guns into the hands of the state, right? So like, they're not for gun control, they're for disarming the people and doing nothing to restrict the violence that the state does, because the state is apparently extra trustworthy and well trained and never hurts innocent people. But occasionally you have some nut job in the civilian populace that goes crazy, and now no civilians can be trusted to have weapons. That's the logic. But people don't make that connection.
Gotta give them credit. The propaganda is good.
It is good. We need more of that on our side, though. We need. I don't know if the dank memes are going to do it, man. When you're competing with that,
all that fear.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, people are like, yeah, I'm scared. What can you do to make me less scared? Disarm me? I guess. Okay. Like,
Right.
It's just so weird that that's what they come up with. It's all they.
Well-
I mean, of course, that was the agenda before the tragedy.
Right. And they're also very sneaky about it because they'll get even the people that are supposedly like pro-gun to accept these sort of common sense gun control solutions, which is just whittling away, and they've just been taking this on the chin, forever. And it's like, so you even get people that recognize like, yeah, guns can be used for self-defense, you can't always rely on a cop. Like even some of those people are still getting caught up in the propaganda and just in like the death by 1,000 cuts strategy. And they're not pushing back on it because, oh yeah, we got to give them some common sense.
Like the NRA negotiating their rights away.
Right.
They'll get along, or FUDs, or, well, okay, this is common sense. We can go along with this.
Because they'll frame it as like,
Well,
I mean, you should be able to like report if your neighbor seems suspicious, right? Because like, what if he is crazy? They don't see how like that can just be used to just literally strip anybody of their gun rights just on
Trump was
hearsay.
into red flags, right? He did red
What's that?
flags. Wasn't Trump all into red flag laws?
Probably. Well,
Go
he
for
said
the guns due process second.
He wanted to also
Yeah.
do something about ghost gunners,
yeah,
Bump
which of
stocks.
course is the answer to all of this. Thank you, Cody Wilson.
right.
No matter what these guys come up with, ghost gunners are not affected. So
Yeah, unless they make drill presses illegal,
Come and take it.
try.
Yeah.
Let them try to. Yeah, milling
Good on-
machines are illegal. Okay, good luck. We still have 3D printers.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'm not going to work today. Guess you're gonna just have to shut down all the machine shops and
Right.
all
Yeah.
the manufacturing.
I mean, literally, that's the baseline. As other people want to like argue about, what should the law be or shouldn't be, right? It really doesn't matter. They're just going to keep ratcheting away, and they'll do anything to maintain their physical advantage over the people they rule. So, there's no process by which we're going to ask them for the right permissions to be armed, right? It's just a matter of, well, what can we do to arm ourselves regardless of whatever proclamations they utter. And that's when it comes to, ghost guns, 3D printing guns, black market guns. I'm not saying break the law.
No, this is a
Check your
comedy show.
comedy show. I don't give legal advice.
The Home Depot pipe and wood like homemade shotguns that you could turn in at a gun buyback and actually get money for them.
I love those pranks on gun buybacks. Every gun buyback should be swarmed with hundreds of people bringing their homemade guns and then get the money and then buy better guns.
They did it
Right.
They did it a couple of years ago, or I want to say it was during Baltimore did one of those gun buybacks, and they were not only just guns, but you also could turn in your magazines. Anything 30 or anything I think over 10 in Maryland or 15. I don't know what it is, but some stupid fucking laws. But the thing was, you could turn in your 30 round mags for your AR, your AK, but they were giving like 3 times the actual value of it. So I was just like, holy shit. And then they had no limit. And then the next time they did it, they limited it to 2 magazines per person. But initially I was like, oh shit.
You can 3D print like a whole like box of magazines. Like,
yeah.
Make your own.
Like I was just going to turn in all these old shitty ones I have, turn them in, and they were going to give gift certificates for basically 3 times the value. I could go online and buy brand new ones. But the second time they did it,
and then
the second
more.
time I think they realized that the second time they did it, it's like,
Is this what they call a free lunch?
yeah.
I like the people that set up with a competing offer with next to the thing. Like, oh, you're getting a $50 gift card. We'll give you $100 cash. Come bring it over here.
Here's some Bitcoin.
And
Here's
have
some
like
silver.
a licensed gun dealer on hand or an appraiser. Like, let the cops take all the crap. Anything that's a nice gun, bring it over here.
Yeah.
I'll give you top dollar for that.
Or just have a stand that's like selling guns.
Yeah, those are always great.
To children
Yeah, to children. Yeah.
in a vending machine.
I do that a lot, and it's a shame Otto's not in on here, but because this is kind of sports ball world. But Jared, you probably see it. But I think it was 2 weekends ago. I was considering going to an Orioles game, but they're like, oh, tonight is wear your orange for National Gun Violence Awareness, and a portion of the ticket proceeds were going to go to Moms Demand Action. I was like, oh,
Holy crap!
yeah, and then but not only that, Babs, but this was like the entire weekend. All sports was doing this. The Philadelphia Eagles, they were just having a practice, and they're on their website. They're wearing orange in commemoration of National Gun Violence Awareness Day.
Wait, isn't orange the team color?
Well, for the Orioles, but not the Eagles. And then, so like all these teams are doing it, and on the Eagles website, they're like, "Oh, the Philadelphia police is doing a gun buyback program." And so, what I'll do is I'll just go on those sites and all these journalists, that sports ball journalists, but I'll just troll them. Like I put in I think it was the Fee article about that gun buybacks are basically people turning in their old junk and just ripping off the taxpayer. And
well, wait, so the players were like wearing orange armbands or something?
Yeah, orange armbands, and their jerseys had orange, and it was like
personally shaming the hell out of those players and just humiliate them. Like you're supposed to be a role model, like the kids, especially in the city, and you're going to promote defenselessness and and like victim disarmament. What does this say to young women? Right, who may be at a disadvantage physically to a male attacker.
Right.
Like, how dare you? Get the feminists all mad about it. Like,
wait, was this in Baltimore?
No, this was just like sports in general, just how they were. Yeah, and even press conferences. They were interviewing the Eagles quarterback, and they're asking him like, "Oh, what are your thoughts on this school shooting in Texas?" And they're really going through all avenues of propaganda.
Did they just assume? Is everything just assumed that the getting the guns off the street is the correct agenda, and getting whatever Moms Demand Action want is the correct agenda, and supporting our police? I mean, is it just all assumed across the land that is all how we're going to have to do this, and it's just how to do it?
I think so. I mean, it's the propaganda. It's creeping its way. I mean, I guess maybe it always has been in sports, but it's just so blatant right now where it's like, I'm like, what the fuck? I was thinking about going to an Orioles game just because I haven't been to a baseball game in a long time. I was like, yeah, what the hell? Like, get some cheap tickets. But I'm like, fuck that. If a certain percentage is going to go to Moms Demand Action, fuck off. I'm not going to that game.
There's got to be a couple rebel sports players out there, right? The Copernics, or like somebody that'd say like, no, like as a they like maybe start quoting Malcolm X, or
well, they're not going to be they're not going to put them on the forefront. They're going to be like, no, we don't want to hear from you.
Yeah, but see, sports players have their own media sphere, like if they wanted to, like somebody like a Maverick could go against it.
This whole
or they could end up being like Matthew McConaughey and just get up there and just be a complete bitch.
Oh,
dude,
what up
with the fucking sneakers up there? Did you see that? How it was his wife's sneakers.
I didn't see the performance.
Wait, what was the sneaker thing?
Oh fuck! Let me go back in the docs. But okay, so apparently,
who wrote the script for that show?
So he came up. Oh gosh, I'll have to go in the docs. Someone have to search for it. But it was one of the victims in the shooting. The girl had green Chuck Taylor Converse, and so McConaughey's wife went up there. And at some point during his speech, he was like, "Oh, the poor girls. There's her shoes." And come to find out, they went through pictures of McConaughey's wife, and she's rocking the same green Converse.
Whatever. Where you get the prop is not of no concern.
Well, it's just gross that they're using a prop, and the prop didn't even match the picture of the victims. Like, it was a completely different color green. It was just so gross, and people are buying this shit up. Like, I was listening to Normie Talk Radio in Baltimore, and they were talking about this. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, you actually think this was genuine and this was fucking real? Like, this is some theater bullshit. Like, it was. Yeah, I'll have to pull up the picture, but it was just so pathetic.
Well, I hope these things, like, I hope that ruins his career. I think it will. Certainly never look at him in a movie the same way.
Right.
Right?
There's
Like, I
so
think there's
many.
some movie like I probably liked him in, right?
Yeah.
But now I won't be able to like that movie anymore because when I
Yeah.
see him, I'll just know what a horrible sellout of a worthless human he is.
Yeah. Dallas Buyers Club. That was a great movie.
And I mean,
Great.
he had been doing like a podcast, the podcast go round. I don't know, maybe it was like a year or two ago. And he was kind of being a little base. Like he was saying some stuff about the problems that, like the whole, liberal, like fake, or I should say fake liberal mindset were like kind of bringing into Austin and stuff like that. He was kind of going off about that stuff. But clearly he's just like an actor and a fraud, like all the rest of them.
Yeah.
LP Texas actually was trying to approach him to maybe join the Libertarian Party. Thank God that never happened.
Oh boy.
But
Maybe
Matt
they
Rice,
could join that whatever the Keystone Party or wherever the
right,
libertarians are going.
old Whataburger and those other losers. But here's Matt Rice. And it's a shame Otto's not here because this is his sports ball team. So this is the defensive coordinator for the team formerly known as the Redskins. His name's Jack Del Rio, but he had the wrong thoughts on January 6th, and he's being fined by the NFL.
He's being fined?
Yeah, he got fined like something like $100,000.
All right, I'm gonna look this up for the after hours.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the after hours, but it was, the sports going woke. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, I think there's one point that I try to get across to people, not always successfully, when to try to boil down all these issues, because everybody gets kind of confused between their statistics and their amendments and their court cases and stuff. I just say, like, if you have one group of people that can tell another group of people how they can defend themselves, like, what kind of relationship is that, right? Like, do you agree that all people have equal human rights? Yes. Okay. Well, how would one person get the right to tell another person that they're not allowed to defend themselves in a certain way, or to limit their ability to defend themselves? So we'll have one group who can defend themselves, kind of like the King's Men. They get swords, right? And then we'll have another group that doesn't get to defend themselves, like serfs, right? Like, is this what you're asking for? Like, should we have this relation? Like, should one group get to, like, basically be the master? That's a slave master relationship.
Yeah, it's getting clown world out there.
Any compromise.
One thing. So when I was first on this podcast, like in 2018, I was like a Bernie bro. And then like I was on a couple months ago and I had like become a libertarian. Since then I joined the party and got my voter membership ID card or whatever. And like it's just been so great to easily win every argument with anyone else with like one sentence or phrase, just like you did, Babs, like where it's like, yeah, clearly like this is a better argument. Boom. It's just like libertarians just are on the right side of everything in terms of like nonviolence, non-aggression, and consent, where every other political party is not.
Well, they're in it to control, and some people would like to see the Libertarian Party get in their control, but
well, they've been purged, hopefully.
Oh, and to your point with the NFL, like I don't watch anything on television, I don't think at all, except for NFL games. I will still watch and enjoy that. And like I get reminded each year that it's like peak like programming.
Yeah.
Like every ad is like the most newest like woke programming thing of telling you like central bank digital currencies are coming and like all that shit. And
invest in crypto.
Crypto.com.
Shitcoins.
Yeah, it's not Bitcoin, it's crypto.
Right.
Yeah. Crypto.
Yeah, and like just with the pageantry of like the national anthem and the Star Spangled Banner and like all this, like it's just peak of that.
They still do the reunions where some parent had been overseas killing kids and then they come home to their own kid and they put it in front of the audience.
Not so much, but yeah, we got some other stuff. We'll get into that in the after hours on Sports Ball. There was another Clown World story, so we'll get to that in the after hours.
All right.
Cool. All right. Speaking of after hours, let's get on over there and wrap this show up. So yeah, we have our after hours show. You get access to it if you become a patron. You can do that by going to patreon.com/punkrockliberatorians. And if you contribute as little as $1 a month, you'll get access to that show and all the past episodes of that show. We also have t-shirts available on libertariancountry.com. You can enter code PRL to save 10%, or PRL 20 to save 20% on an order of at least $50, I think. We're also sponsored by Moral Bob and his podcast, Hidden in Plain Sight. And yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. Thanks for coming on, Dr. E.
Thank you. And congrats on 400 episodes plus.
Thanks, brother. All right. Help me take us out, Alex, on this
I
one.
got you, man.
Until next time, live free
Or die.